Definition of necrophilia: obsession with and usually erotic interest in or stimulation by corpses. 1. Jeffrey Dahmer. Dahmer murdered 17 people in 1978 and 1991. He would then have intercourse with the bodies. He said,
"The only motive that there ever was to completely control a person I found physically attractive. And keep them with me as long as possible, even if it meant just keeping a part of them."
How very romantic. 2. Edmund Kemper. Measuring 6 foot 9 inches, Kemper murdered 10 people, including his mother, between 1964 and 1973. He would kill people and then have sex with their corpses afterwards. Possibly the most disturbing incident involved his mother. He battered her to death, decapitated her, removed her vocal cords, and had sex with her neck-head. Kemper said,
"That seemed appropriate, as much as she bitched and screamed and yelled at me over so many years."
He could have just moved out, but you do, Kemper. 3. Dennis Nilsen. Nilsen killed men and boys between 1978 and 1983. The exact amount is unknown, although in 1983, he confessed to killing 15 people. Young men and boys would come back to Nilsen's home, where he would murder them. With some of his victims, he would then wash the bodies, kissing and talking to them before masturbating on them and or having intercrural sex. This isn't as disturbing as it sounds. The actual act, not the fact that it was with a dead body, that is definitely disturbing. He said they were
too perfect and beautiful for the pathetic ritual of commonplace sex.
too perfect and beautiful, but okay to wank on. Gotcha. 4. Ted Bundy. Bundy is known to have killed at least 30 people between 1974 and 1978. He would kill a female victim and drag her body to the woods, where he would leave her before returning to the body later and sexually violating it. Bundy would then pose the bodies and take photos, saying,
"When you work hard to do something right, you don't want to forget it."
He didn't confess to acts of necrophilia until shortly before his death. Yes, now I can see why so many women think he's gorgeous and charming instead of a predator as crazy as a shithouse rat who fucks corpses. 5. Gary Ridgway. Ridgway killed at least 49 people between 1982 and 1998, although some could be as recent as 2001. Ridgway would leave his victim's body in the forest and would return later. He said,
"In the evening, right after I got off work, I'd go have sex with her and that'd last for 1 or 2 days, like, till the flies came. One thing, you didn't have to pay for it, she was already dead."
How cheap can you get? 6. Karen Greenlee. Greenlee differs from the rest on this list, firstly because she's female and secondly because she didn't murder anybody. She worked in a mortuary, was arrested in 1979 at 23, and admitted to having sex with 20 to 40 male corpses. However, necrophilia wasn't illegal in California at the time, so she was only convicted of illegally driving one of the hearses and interfering with burial after she stole a body. She had 11 months of jail time and has since become an unofficial spokesperson for necrophiliacs, as you do. 7. Lam Kor-Wan. Kor-Wan was known as the Hong Kong Butcher and killed 4 people in 1982. He would have intercourse with his victims after their deaths. Perhaps most disturbingly, he would remove their sexual organs and pickle them in Tupperware, earning him the nickname the Jars Murderer. I'm more surprised he managed to find the lids for the Tupperware. 8. Jerry Brudos. Brudos, known as the Shoe Fetish Slayer, killed at least 4 women between 1968 and 1969. He would beat and strangle them before keeping trophies such as a foot. He would murder his victims and then sexually violate the corpses in different ways before disposing of them, often wearing women's clothing during and after the murders. A foot fetish is fine, but you don't need to take an actual fucking foot to get your rocks off.
For me, a corpse has a beauty and dignity which a living body could never hold. There is a peace about death that soothes me.
Fun fact, he was nicknamed Can't Do It Christie because he struggled to get an erection and was also sexually attracted to his sisters. Incest is not best, John. 10. Jimmy Savile. Savile was a British celebrity who raised millions for charity before being outed after his death as a paedophile, sex offender, and necrophiliac, although there were rumors when he was alive, which were quickly covered up. For some reason, he had complete access to the mortuary at Leeds General Hospital from the late 1970s to the mid-1990s. A former nurse said, Saville, was saying that they used to put the bodies together, male and female, and he also said that they took photographs and also that he got involved in some of the photographs. I was a little bit upset because I had no concept, in those days, of necrophilia. Several of the Broadmoor patients would have been diagnosed with that, but I didn't fully understand what it meant, and partway through, I just wandered off. Saville talked about gamouche. It means oral sex, that Saville, he would go down on them and gamouche and muck about. Special mention, Ed Gein. Gein was a grave robber and a murderer, digging up the corpses of women who reminded him of his mother. When police attended his house, they found chairs upholstered in human skin, a lamp covered in human skin and even a belt made from nipples. Gein was as a necrophiliac as he would become sexually excited by parts of the corpses, although he didn't have sex with them as they smelled too bad. I'm sure you weren't a bouquet of roses yourself, Ed. Special mention part 2, animals. A few animals like to get down and dirty with their dead. These include crows, kangaroos, ducks, frogs, toads, penguins. I am heartbroken about this, sea lions, sea otters and dolphins. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere about flogging a dead horse, but I won't inflict it on you. So, that was a few of the many necrophiliacs. What do you think causes them to commit these acts? Thanks for listening, look after yourselves, and I will see you soon.